When I asked this question about how histamine has affected your relationship with food, I don't know why, but I just wasn't surprised by the results. And what was even more interesting was the fact that four people actually reached out to me and were like, Dilly, going on like a low histamine diet and actually looking at my triggers has led me to a point of trauma where I can't even look at other foods. And that kind of killed me a bit inside. One of the people actually said that they've gone down to 15 foods. So 15 foods that are on their safe list that they've eaten for the last, I think, 3 years. What the actual. And I think this is one thing that's not been discussed on the low histamine diet is when we're kind of told to take these foods out, is when do you reintroduce them? What doesn't make sense is the fact that when we're removing these foods, we're apparently going to get better. But as we remove the foods, the immune system still are reactive. And this is what pisses me off a little bit. And I'm sorry, but it really does because you're not calming the immune system down. Yes, you're soothing it by removing the triggers. But essentially, when you're removing these foods from the gut, you're you still got a histamine overload because your body doesn't suddenly go, oh, my diamine oxidase is going to start working or HNMT is going to start working. And this is the problem. This is what we're not talking about, like how like food is actually causing a trauma. And I think we need to talk about this more. We need to be discussing the low histamine diet in much more detail and why it's been touted as the solution. And don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against the low histamine diet. I really, really don't. But I do think that we need to look at, if we're taking these foods out, what the impact is. When are we going to reintroduce those foods? And the famous response when I've like asked this query to a couple of people, they've gone, oh, you'll know when the body is ready. And I say that. I say with Toxaprevent, I say when the body is ready, you can reintroduce those foods. But yeah, you'll know. You'll know when you can reintroduce those foods because you'll feel your histamine going down and then all of a sudden your reactions are going down. We know that there is a point where you'll be able to introduce those foods. Point is, if we are going to do the low histamine diet, we need to address these histamine lists because what you react to may be completely different from what other people react to. How do you know which list is right and which is wrong? Looking at what's triggering you and what's triggering someone else. And so, these low histamine diets, we need to discuss the limitations because no one's talking about the fact that if you remove these foods, the impact it could have on other aspects of your health. If you are following a low histamine diet, you need to be taking a histamine binder because your diamine oxidase and your HNMT has been impacted, and a histamine binder will be able to lower that histamine. And so, if you're not taking a histamine binder, how else are you planning on lowering that histamine?